Hey, welcome to Daily Faith. My name is Philip Cameron, and I am so happy to have you with us. Wherever you're watching us right now from, just for the guys here, my monitor is back on again. It's going on and off this monitor here. I don't know if that means anything of importance. But anyway, you're here and I'm here, and that's all that matters. We have got a tremendous show. I've been traveling in America for 50-odd years, 54 years now, been in thousands of churches, met thousands of pastors and ministers, been in every major ministry program there is. This young man has a ministry. His name is Zach Drew. And he has got the best research and insight into what's going on in the world today. And his ministry is prophetic. And if you've never seen the Zach Drew Show, I want you to write that name down and find it. And be a part with it, partner with it. Never mind, because I'll tell you what, this is a watchman on the wall. This is someone standing up and looking beyond what I can see. I don't have the time to do the research that he does. He's continually, he's like a combine harvester of information. And out of that, the pixels that he picks up, he can put together a picture as to where we are in these end times. And it's so important. And he is my guest today on the program. Listen to me. If you love your pastor, call him right now. If you love a friend who loves the end time and wants to be aware of what's happening, call them right now. And they can just go on to dailyfaith.tv, and they can watch it live right now. And I'll promise you, they will get information. We are going to be talking on today's program about AI, artificial intelligence. You better write that down, because it's going to affect every corner of your day and life. It is going to control most of what you do. A machine, an electronic gadget, is going to be given more power than any one person has ever been given in the history of mankind. I have been ask my team and my family. I am talking about this non-stop. I was on the phone for 2 hours 2 nights ago with my mom, who is 95 years of age in Scotland, trying to explain to her about AI. And Zach is going to help us understand just a wee bit of what this is going to do in our world. You've got to get this program, record it if you can, share it with people, because this is critically important. I'm delighted to have you with us. You can watch us on YouTube. It's simple, youtube.com/dailyfaith. You can watch us on Monday nights on CTN at 9 o'clock in the evening, which is seen across the nation. DirecTV channel 376, Dish channel 262, Glory Star channel 117. You can also see us on select stations of TCT, a great partner ministry with ours. Also Journey Network, Integrity Network, which is down in, which my dear friend Dale Hill founded a few months ago, doing very, very well. Journey Network is covering the whole lower part of Alabama and along the coast. So wherever you're watching this, we're delighted to have you with us. You're going to learn something today. I promise you, this may set your hair on fire. I'm delighted to have you. Welcome to Daily Faith. Hello, my friend. Welcome to Daily Faith. My name is Philip Cameron, and Daily Faith is here as a program, 30 minutes a day, to speak into your life, to affirm your faith. I will never forget the first time I heard Rush Limbaugh on the radio. I almost crashed my car. I had to pull over the side and listen to him, because suddenly this voice coming out through the speaker was saying stuff I'd been thinking for years in my mind and never articulated. And the power that he had with us all, and he grew the conservative movement because he was speaking things that affirmed what you already felt. And the reason why Daily Faith is here, I believe, is to affirm your faith, to strengthen you in the inner man, to quicken you, to let you see that you're not alone in your circumstance. God's on your side, and if God be for you, who can be against you? And as we see these things come to pass, lift up your head, redemption draws nigh. And we are, I believe, we are closer than we have ever been towards the coming of the Lord Jesus. Those that are watching, if you can watch us on CTN every Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and you can go to dailyfaith.tv and catch up on all the past episodes. Today's program you'll want to keep, because we're going to be talking about AI, artificial intelligence. This is blowing my mind. The more I see it, the more I think about it. It is absolutely terrifying, the power that we are going to be giving to machines, already doing it and increasing so as we go ahead in the future. This will change your life. For those that watch the program regularly, you'll know that part of our passion is missions in Eastern Europe. 34 years ago, I adopted a wee boy in an orphanage in Timișoara, Romania. And while I was waiting for the process to go through, it took a year, I fixed the whole place up. And by the time we adopted Andrew, my passion for missions was absolutely, that was my passion. And since that time, we've been helping. We went to a country called Moldova. Trafficking is one of the big problems in that country. We have a village of homes called Vatra Village, where instead of going on the streets, they come to our village. Each of the homes has house parents. And there it is right there. It's beside the largest lake in all of Moldova. And our kids, instead of being on the street, they're put back in university. They're in a fabulous house. All the furniture has been taken over here from the United States to there. And they're told, instead of being a mistake, they are in the plan of God. If they're born, God has a plan. And the crazy thing about these kids is that as they come into our ministry and as they find the Lord Jesus and are affirmed as to who they are, they're turning into doctors and counselors and all kinds of amazing things that they never thought they could ever accomplish and achieve. But what's happened is that they've become missionaries. Orphans become sons and daughters become missionaries. And this last year, they have been heroes in the war that's going on in Ukraine. Regularly, we go up there and feed thousands of people. And when the refugees ran out of Ukraine to Moldova, our kids were at the borders feeding night and day the refugees that had run away from the war. It's crazy what these orphans are doing. And just recently, they were in Odessa in Ukraine. And there'd been a missile attack just before this video that you're about to see taking place. And they still went. And they sent me this video. Understand this, they make this video. We don't have a production team that does this. Our kids make this video. It's our kids' voices that you hear speaking on the video. And many of you helped us. We gave away 15,000 new coats in Ukraine. And here is our kids, all of them orphans, being used by God's hands to care for those that have lost everything, because folk like you are supporting it. Watch this video.
Де твоя жінка, каже? Кажу, в больниці. А що я скажу? А де больниця? Кажу, ну так, на Одесу, на Ніколаїв, на Херсон. Кажу, я не знаю. Скажу, мы, каже, сейчас по телефону и поедем туда, привезем, и перед вами посмотрим, что будет. Расстрел.
Despaired lived one day at a time. Takes an eternity. As we here live our blessed life, can you imagine living an existence that threatens to kill you every second, every minute, every hour, every day? The wails of sirens, warning of missiles all through the night, causes every nerve in your body to scream. There is no water, no power, no heat. The village, as you remember it, no longer exists. The streets and homes only survive in your mind. The menfolk are all gone, alive or dead. You don't know. Fear is your neighbor, the guest at every meal, your bedfellow every night. The young men and women from Moldova have come. They tell us there are new codes and other things. Why do they care? Why have they come to hell? We'll go and see if what we heard is true. Grace is waiting, kindness and love, a moment to smile, the strangeness of a hug. It's true, they are here, waiting for us. In the middle of darkness, the love of God meets the broken, and hope is born again.
The love of God meets the broken, and hope is born again. Never a truer word been spoken. Our kids are literally the lifeline to so many people. They go up and feed 1,000 people regularly. That we buy all the bread we can find, and we give them fish and bread. That's a traditional Ukrainian meal. And they have a miracle of loaves and fishes every week because of the kids of the orphans' hands. I need your help. We are stretched way beyond what our ministry can normally do. We're not a big ministry at all. We just think we are, and we're acting like we are. And God has been so kind and faithful. We have sent 4 containers of clothes and supplies over in the last 4 months. That's 1 container a month. Just the shipping is $10,000, not for the cost of all the coats and all the stuff inside. And on top of that, a pastor from on top of what we're doing in Ukraine and training these young people in Moldova, a pastor called us from Istanbul. His wife is Moldovan, and she has been watching the Orphans' Hands doing all these things in Ukraine. She contacted one of our leaders in Moldova and said, is there any possibility that you could help us in Turkey? Turkey has experienced the worst natural disaster in history. I'm stunned that it's never seen on TV. They excavated 20% of the buildings destroyed and found 50,000 bodies. Entire cities. There's one city that Andrew went to, and it's 1.6 million, is that right? 1.6 million people in the city, and it's 90% destroyed. And they asked us to help, and the Orphans' Hands, we just don't know how to say no. And Andrew flew to Istanbul. A team left with one of our vans from Moldova, drove through Romania, Bulgaria, into Turkey, picked Andrew up at Istanbul, and they went to a factory and bought family tents. They cost us $620. That's what they cost us. That's not for your gift of that's what they cost us each, $620. And we bought 50 of those right away. And they went down and they assembled those and put them up in place in that tent city. And they also found a place where we could get boxes of 40-pound boxes, weight-wise, of food for $30 a box. And as you can see, they loaded our van and drove back and forth, a taxi shuttle service, to right into where these people were sitting with no homes, nothing to cover them, still cold at night. And our team, Andrew from America and our kids from Moldova, became God's hand extended right in the middle of an earthquake. We just heard from that pastor. All the tents are full and all the food is gone. If you'd like to help sponsor a tent, you can do that. $620 allows a family to have a place of shelter. And all of the things we're giving to these people in the earthquake zone is the church, it's Christians. And you can help us help the Christian people in Turkey by, if you want to sponsor a tent, you can do that. If you want to sponsor a box of food, 40-pound box of food, Costs $30. That's what it costs us to buy, and we take it down to the earthquake zone. Please ask God to help you, help us. We're doing this as hard as we can, and we sure wish that someone watching had enough resources to say, Philip, buy 100 tents. Our vision is to buy 100 tents at $620 each. That's our dream. Maybe the Lord can help you do that, help us do that today. You can make a check out to the Orphan's Hands. Really simple address, P.O. Box 25, Clinton, Tennessee, 37716. Clinton, Tennessee, 37716. You can also go right to our website, dailyfaith.tv, and there's a giving page, and an earmark where you want this to go. If you want to buy a tent, write a tent, and that's what we'll buy. If you want to go a box, if you want to help Ukraine refugees, write Ukraine refugees. However you designate your funds, that's where we'll spend it. And we need you to be a part of this miracle if you could. And let the Lord speak your heart. You can also go to an 800 number, 833-DAILY-FAITH, 833-DAILY-FAITH. And your giving today can be God's hand extended. These kids are willing to go. They were there the other night and were in the middle. In fact, they called me in the middle of the sirens going off because there was missiles being landed in Odessa. And they were sitting outside calling me with the sirens going off. And I said, you guys are crazy. And they laughed and said, hey, God knows we're here. God will keep us safe. And I thought, wow, these kids have got more faith than I have. Please help us. Your giving can make a tremendous difference. As I said at the beginning of the program, Zach Drew is a friend of mine first and foremost. I've known him for many, many years. The first time I met him, I was attracted to his spirit. And I knew that this kid had a vision and a purpose bigger than just, he was part of a media school at Jim Bakker's, but I knew he was different. And boy, has he proven that over the years. Now has his own very successful ministry. He's seen across the country on the Zach Drew Show. And I want you to meet my friend Zach. Zach, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're a busy guy. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
I love it. It's always an honor being with you. You guys are like family to me.
I know. We love you guys so much. My hair has been caught on fire for the last month about this AI stuff. And I thought the one person who I know has been checking up on this and has information to give me is Zach. And thank you for taking the time. Give us, someone's watching, they may have heard it on TV, but that's all they know. Tell us how big AI is going to be in our lives.
It's going to be hard to actually compare it to anything. The experts, so just so you know, my foundation in the technology community, I had a great deal of interest in it, 10 or 15 years ago, but it ramped up around 2017, whenever I actually had the opportunity to start traveling truly all around the globe to attend these, and no other way to say it, these incredibly exclusive technology conferences. And I was in the rooms with truly the technology oligarchs of the world. We have entered into what they refer to as the fourth industrial revolution. Wow. And it is going to affect the world more than any other industrial revolution than we have ever seen. I am very comfortable going on record saying that I do not believe that we will recognize the world in 10 years. Everything, and you think everything's connected now, but everything will be connected, listening, observing, tracking, gathering, storing, analyzing all of your data. And these technology oligarchs are creating, like, truly it's a simulation for you to live in which, if you don't wake up, you will be a zombie in this artificial world they're creating. Your lives will simply flow down the rivers that they have created. They're building a matrix to re-engineer humanity. Now, sure, the Matrix, we're not going to be living in pods where machines are feeding off our body, okay? But everything you will see will be built with a layer of deception encoded within it. They're building a world in which dependence on them is equal to survival. And I absolutely believe that the technology they're building, I am of the mind that the Antichrist, for certain prophetic scriptures to be fulfilled, the technology is not there yet. For example, how is the Antichrist, the son of perdition, going to rule over the entire world where he has knowledge over every transaction that takes place. No one can buy or sell without the mark. How would he know if you gave Johnny $10 to mow your lawn? How would he know what the indigenous people in the jungles of Amazon are doing? Right? It doesn't make any sense. But they are actually building a system to even connect the most rural, most indigenous people of the world right now. And and AI, I believe that AI, someone could write a book and label it the digital dragon.
Wow.
I think it will be, the Antichrist will be so connected to this technology that they're building. It's nearly unfathomable to think right now. And I have to preface this, I do take the angel view of Genesis chapter 6, right? There's the angel view and the Sethite view. When the sons of God came down and took the daughters of Eve, and they created this offspring and of Nephilim and the Raphaim, and these giant beings that were, I think those were the fallen angels, and they created a being that were half terrestrial, human, and half something else entirely. And I think that whenever Jesus talks about as it was in the days of Noah, I believe mankind will be human and mixed with something else entirely. Wow, that's such a crazy conspiracy theory, Zach. Not according to Elon Musk at Neuralink.
I watched him the other day. I watched Elon Musk the other day talking about putting an implant into your brain that will heal your eyes and fix this and go through your body. Oh no, this isn't out. This isn't 10 years out. This is at our doorstep right now. Yesterday, this guy that killed the people the shooter in Atlanta. All of the reporters were saying if he's got his cell phone on, they know where he is. If he uses his cell phone, they know where he is. And they're saying on air, wherever he goes, he's going to be found. He's going to be tracked. If he buys gas, he's going to be tracked. If he uses his cell phone, they have. Please tell us, how much information do they have already about every single one of us that's living right this minute? How much does AI know?
They know far more about you than your spouse probably knows.
That is the
truth.
I
actually did an entire show on, they know your preferences. They know your political preferences. They know your search history. They know everything about you. But I want to say this is where it's going. Some of us had the opportunity to go and listen to this guy named Masayoshi Son, okay, in Barcelona, Spain. And he was the second richest man in Japan. He owns ARM, which designs 99.9% of every single phone on the planet. He was the CEO of SoftBank, which had over $100 billion of liquid cash, mostly from the Saudi Arabian government, to invest solely into artificial intelligence and IoT, which is an acronym that stands for Internet of Things. He was talking about that there is a day coming that by the year 2030, they believe that artificial intelligence will be equal to that of mankind, meaning being able to think, reason. They're already becoming great writers. But I'm talking about almost fooling mankind that they've almost become a sentient being with a consciousness. That's how scary it's going to become. But what's even scarier than that is that they believe, Ray Kurzweil, Masayoshi Son, the Silicon Valley elite, they believe that by the year 2040 to 2045, we're going to enter into a phase of mankind that's known as the singularity, where AI far surpasses the intelligence of that of mankind. To put that in perspective, they think that Albert Einstein could have had an IQ of 200. Masayoshi Son, speaking in Barcelona, Spain, believes that the AI of the future will be a super intelligent being with a IQ of 10,000. Okay, 10,000, which is just so absurd. And once again, I could never make these claims on my own. That's why I quote the movers and shakers of the world. Sure. But this is what's interesting. This is what he said. Right now, there are around 7 billion connected devices collecting data on people in the world. The average home in America has around 15 connected devices in their home. from their printer to their laptops, to their iPads, their cell phones, to their Apple TVs and Rokus, to their TVs themselves, to their gaming consoles, to their the fridges, the Roombas, the vacuums, right? Collecting data. Because here's the thing, what to understand is that data is the new oil. Data is the new oil. And that's why
That's crazy.
Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, right? He was actually, the king kind of took the reins back, but the king isn't going to live forever.
Yeah.
He was wanting to what? He was wanting to sell their oil, literally the one thing that makes them independent, the one thing that the world needs, the one thing that wars are fought over, that makes the world go round, is oil. And
Yeah.
Mohammed bin Salman was wanting to sell off their oil. What in the world? Where would their yields and returns come from
Information.
each year? He was wanting to take it and invest it into AI because they believe that data in the future will yield better returns than oil itself. There are 7 billion connected devices. They believe that by the year 2035, there will be, listen to this, this is a T, 1 trillion connected devices. 1 trillion.
Jesus.
Now, what's interesting about this is that there will be 1 trillion connected devices, and they'll be gathering data over the entire planet. How would they be able to do that? Through LEO satellites. Philip, are you familiar with LEO satellites?
Yes, I am.
Low Earth orbiting satellites.
Yeah. Isn't that what Musk is putting up all over the world right now? A whole network of it?
That's right. Starlink is,
Yeah.
OneWeb is, eSpace. They are putting satellites up there as well, just to give you an idea.
And let me explain to the folks.
Masayoshi Son.
Let me tell you how powerful that was. When Russia invaded Ukraine, they shut down the internet, and Musk activated his internet over Ukraine to allow the Ukrainians to get information and communicate with each other against the Russians. So Musk interfered in a war by opening up, it was Starlink, I believe his is, and it was allowed the people to communicate totally independent of what Russia wanted to happen. That's how powerful these boys are.
And Masayoshi Son in Barcelona, he was saying that these trillion devices being able to collect data and relay it in real time with no latency will all be fed to the term he called a global brain. And now whoever has access, whatever country, whatever person, the son of perdition, whoever has access to this global brain will be able to rule the entire world. Now, how can, data from everywhere will be sent to the LEO satellites, which are truly going to be creating a spider web around the entire world. 5 years ago, there was between 800 to 1,100 active satellites around the globe. By the year 2030, there is going to be as many as 40,000. And eSpace has announced plans for a constellation of 300,000 LEO satellites. So in the next 10 to 15 years, we will have gone from 800 to 1,100 active satellites to 300,000 to 400,000 satellites, creating a web around the entire globe. And once again, in the day of superintelligence, we were talking about even before the show, there is a guy by the name of Anthony Lewandowski. And let me actually go to that article. Anthony Lewandowski, let me read this article for you. Many people in Silicon Valley believe in the singularity, the day in our near future when computers will surpass humans in intelligence and kick off a feedback loop of unfathomable change. This is from Wired. When that day comes, Anthony Lewandowski will be firmly on the side of machines. This actually took place in 2015, totally under the radar. Some people don't even understand this happened. He founded a religious organization called Way of the Future.
Jesus.
Its purpose, according to previously unreported state filings, is nothing less than to, quote, develop and promote the realization of a Godhead based on artificial intelligence. Documents filed with California show that Lewandowski is Way of the Future's CEO and president, and that it aims, quote, through understanding and worship of the Godhead to contribute to the betterment of society. A divine AI may still be far off, but Lewandowski has made a start at providing AI with an earthly incarnation.
Isn't that
You
the
see,
guy that Musk said he believes that all intelligence is equal? So human intelligence and computer intelligence are of the same value. Is that the same guy?
that's right. That's right. The fourth industrial revolution is upon us. In 1760 to around 1840, it was the first industrial revolution, which is the rise of the iron and textile industries and the development of the steam engine. The process of going from hand production to machine production, and it changed the world.
Oh,
We can't
absolutely.
imagine what the world would be like without that. The second industrial revolution, 1870 1914, it was known as the technological revolution. The advent of public electricity, light bulb, telephone, internal combustion engine, which led to cars, airplanes.
Yeah.
But starting in the 1980s, the third industrial revolution, which was the digital revolution, characterized as moving from analog, electric, and mechanical devices to digital technology. Our entire existence as mankind changed on the entire globe because of this third industrial revolution. Best known for the personal computer, the internet. And now we have officially entered into the fourth industrial revolution. It's built off of the digital revolution, and it's characterized by, quote, representing new ways in which technology becomes embedded within societies and even the human body. The new revolution will be marked by nanotechnology, quantum computing, autonomous vehicles, robotics, AI, and IoT.
Wow. I mean, our time is gone. We just get started. You got to come back and we're going to talk more about this. This is going to change our world. And frankly, I don't know of any way to fight it. It's just so big. We need a revival. I need to get in contact with Zach Drew. Listen to me, ZachDrewShow.com. His ministry is called IGBY International Ministries in Decatur, Illinois. And you need to get a hold of him. He has got some of the most important information that you'll ever know. Thank you for watching Daily Faith today. We